Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Singh and today I am going to teach about the classification of soil and what will be the purpose of the classification of soil. This is a very important things which you need to know. If you are a civil engineer student, a civil engineering student, you should have knowledge of this topic. So, this is my lecture number 6 of Advanced Geotechnical Engineering and as you can see my details is there. My name is Saurabh Singh and I am assistant professor in civil engineering department. If after watching this video, if you have any doubt, you can call on my this number 7014914312 and you can also write an email on saurabh.singh@mygyanviha.com. First, we will see the learning objective. What will be the learning objective? And after that, we will see the learning outcome. To By this video lecture, you will understand what is the objective of this video lecture is to know about the purpose of classifications and understand about the method of soil classification. As you know, in soil classification, there are many methods like UCS method. There are also ASTHO method. These are the methods which apply in the soil classification, and a learning outcome is also here. You will able to learn what are the importance of soil mechanics and soil classification, and you will also know what are the different types of soil classification and their groups, because uh, in this topic there are many types of soil classification and you will know what is the purpose of it, and what are the criteria of the classification of this soil. So first we will see purpose. What is the purpose? As you can see here, there are sandy soil, clay soil, chalk soil, silty soil, and peat soil and loam soil. As you can see, sand, silt, clay, and these are the types of soil. And if you will see the classification of soil, then you will get it based on composite material which is in the soil. It is also based on size. Like if you will see the size of clay soil, it is it is uh, it is smaller than sandy soil. If you will talk about the silty soil, then silty soil is smaller than sandy soil. Means these are the also classified according to their size, and this is also uh, classified according to their materials, like what are the ingredient in sand, what are the ingredient in silt, and what are the ingredient in the clay. Now you can see there are many sample of soil. Suppose you are doing work on this soil. This is suppose black cotton soil, and if you will see the behavior of black cotton soil, when it will come in the contact of water, then swelling will be occur in this kind of soil. Means when you are going to construct any building or when you are going to construct any structure on it, you should take care of its swelling during the rainy season. That's why this is very important to know what are the difference between this soil and what is the behavior and what are the properties of this soil. Only this can you can only these things you can know by the classification. That's why classification of soil is a very important topic. Now, as you can see, the purpose, there is purpose given. Arrange various types of soil into groups according to their engineering or various other characteristics. As you can see, means it is a arrangement of soil into a group according to their engineering and various characteristics. So it is very important to know what are the engineering and what are the characteristics of soil, because when you will know about the properties of this soil, you can categorize into parts. That's why it is important to know engineering and physical characteristics of soil. Second thing is given, soil possessing similar characteristic can be placed in the same group. Means if the character of soil if the character of two soil will be same, then it can be placed into same group. Okay. This is the method. You can also say this is the arrangement method of the soil characterization. Now we will see what are the classification of soil, how in how many parts it has been classified. First, you can see it is based on particle size classification. Second, you can see textural classification. It is on the based on texture. Third one is Highway Research Board, which we also call it HRB classification. Fourth one is Unified Soil Classification System, which we call USCS. And last one is Indian Standard Classification System. It is called as ISCS. And generally we follow the ISCS because uh, we also believe in the Indian Standard Soil Classification. As you can see, these are the method of, you can say these are the methods and these are the different way of the classification. First is you can see it is based on particle size. Means it will be basis on what is the size of the particles. Like one particle will be bigger and second may be smaller. It is based on the particle size. That's why it is named as particle size classification. Textural classification means what will be the texture of your soil. Like if there will be clay soil, if there will be silty soil, the texture of both soil will be different, and it is categorized on the basis of character. That's why it is mentioned here as a textural classification. Highway Research Board HRB classification. This is a classification system which we obtained, which is from the USA, and Unified Soil Classification. This is a very popular soil classification system which is adopted mostly in all over the world. And Indian Standard Soil Classification, it is also based on USCS. Okay, if you will see the similarities in Unified Soil Classification and Indian Standard Classification System, you will get there is 90% similarities in USCS and ISCS. Now first we will see the particle size classification. See, soil arranged according to grain size. First one is given here. As I told you earlier, soil will be arranged according to grain soil. Second point is also here, termed as the gravel, sand, silt, and clay are used to indicate grain size. If you will see, generally, if you will see, the soil classification, generally it is termed as gravel. The size of gravel is higher than sand. The size of sand is higher than silt, and the size of silt is higher than clay. Okay, so generally in all classification systems, these are the terms as gravel, sand, silt, and clay. And it is also these words also used to indicate the grain size. Okay, if you will, if clay will come in your mind, you will think, oh, the size of this soil is very small. That's why it is named as a clay. And third point is also given here. These terms are used only as a designation of particle size. They do not signify naturally occurring soil type. Naturally occurring soil type mixture of particle of different size. As you can see here, they do not signify naturally occurring soil type. Okay. Now come on the IS classification with the based on the grain size. If you will see the size of boulders, first we will see the size of boulders. If size of boulder is more than 300 mm, as you can see here, it is here 300 mm, then it will be called, it will be called 300. If the size of particle will be bigger, more than 300, it will be called boulders. If size of particle is more than 80 mm, it will be called cobble. If size of uh, if size of particle is between will be more than 4.75 mm, it will called gravel. And gravel is also categorized into two parts. First one is fine and second one is coarse. That's why you can see here it is starting from the gravel, fine and coarse. Now we will see the sand, size of sand. If size of particle will be more than 0.075, it will called sand. And sand is also categorized in three parts. As you can see, it is categorized in fine. The size of fine particle will be 0.75 to 0.425. If it will be medium size of sand, it will be the size of this particle will be 0.4 to 5 to 2 mm. It will be called medium size sand. As you can see, there is also core size of sand will be between 2 mm to 4.7 mm. Now come on the silt. Silt size will be between 0.002 mm to 0.075. And the size of clay, if the particle size of if particle size of soil will be less than 0.02 mm, it will call clay. That is a very important thing which you need to remember always, because you should have idea what is the size of clay and what are the size of silt and what are the size of sand and what are the size of gravel. This is called in your IS soil classification system. Now we will see the textural classification of a soil. And you know, I told you earlier, textural classification is based on their their shapes, their size. It is not size, you can call it, it is based on their shape. That's why it is very important to know what is the textural soil classification. First, we will see introduction of the textural classification. As you can see here, there are introduction of a textural soil classification. Soil classification of composite soil exclusively based on the particle size distribution. This is a very important point is given here. It is exclusively based on soil particle distribution. Most popular of the triangular classification of US Public Road Administration. Classification is based on percentage of sand, silt, and clay size. More suitable for describing the coarse grained soil, as you can see here. Clay soil properties are less depend on the particle size distribution. As you can see here, this is textural soil classification chart, and this is based on type of the texture of a particle. As you can see here, this is a clay which is varies between 0.025 to 0.5 mm. There is also clay which is less than 0.05 mm, and there is also silt which is varies from 0.05. And if you will see here, what will be the clay low? It will come in this category. Clay will come in this category, and these are the size, and these are the percentage, and these are the size which is given here. It is a silt, it is a sand, and it is will be clay. Now come on the next slide. What we will see here, Highway Research Board classification, which is also called HRB. And first we will see the introduction. It is based on the both particle size and composition as well as particle size, plasticity characteristics, mostly used for the pavement construction. Generally, this classification soil system is used for the construction of pavement design, like where we need to do construction of a pavement. On that things, on that place, this kind of classification of soil is used, and it is categorized in 7 primary groups and one subdivision into the 2 subgroup, and A2 is subdivided into 4 subgroups. Now, group index, and group index known as the GI determination. Group index of soil depend on amount of material passing through the 75 micron sieve. This is a very important to know. What is the 75 micron sieve? This is a sieve, and what we need to do? We have to took the sample in this sieve, and we have to shake. And there is also a shaker machine, which you have to put your sieve, and it will shake the sieve till the 15 minute, and in 15 minute it will pass through the ISU, which size is 75 microns, and it is also based on liquid limit. Liquid limit we can determine by the using of Casa-Grande method. Like liquid limit is a method of determine the plasticity of a soil, and there is also plastic limit which we determine in the laboratory. And there is also one formula is given: group index is equals to, this is very important formula, which I will like to highlight here. Group index is equals to 0.02 A plus 0.005 AC plus 0.01 BD. This is the very important formula which you need to remember. As you can see here, A is equals to that proportion of percentage passing through the 75 micron sieve greater than 35 and not exceeding that 75 expressed as whole number is from 0 to 40. Now what is the B? As you can see here, B, that proportion of percentage passing through the 75 micron sieve greater than 15 and not exceeding 55% expressed as the whole number from 0 to 40. And as you can see here, for C is the that proportion of material liquid limit greater than 40 and not exceeding than 60% expressed as the provided positive whole number is expressed from 0 to 20. D is equals to the proportion of the numerical plasticity index greater than 10 and not exceeding 30% expressed as the positive whole number. It is from 0 to 20. Now, this is classification of group symbol. As you can see here, gravel is classified, the prefix of gravel will be G, as you can see here, and it is the meaning of it, and the subgroup of it is well graded, poorly graded, silty, clayly. These are the suffix. If it will be GW, it will call well graded gravel. If it will be GP, it will call poorly graded gravel. If the symbol will be GM, it will call the silty gravel. If it will be GC, it will call clayly gravel. These are the sample which is classified according to symbol. And now we will see the sand. It is same like the gravel. As you can see, first letter prefix will be S and suffix will be W. And this is categorized into well graded, poorly graded, silty, clayly. Now silt will be the prefix of silt will be M, the prefix of clay will be C, and organic, if your soil is organic, it will be denoted by the O. If it is peat, it will denote by the PT. And there is also liquid limit is given. If liquid limit will be greater than 50%, it will be it will call ML, and ML means silty with a laser liquid limit of 50%. Now we will also see the group symbol and typical name in this slide. GW will call well graded gravel, and GP will call poorly graded gravel. GM will be called silty gravel. GC will call clayly gravel, and SW will call well graded sand. SP is called poorly graded sand. SM is called silty sand, and SC is called clayly sand. These are the symbol which you need to know because in exams many times many questions these symbol will come, and you also need to identify what is the meaning of this symbol in your question. Now we will come on the Indian Standard Classification System, which is called ISCS. Now we will see Indian Standard Classification System, which is based on IS 1498 1997. Now see, Indian Standard is based on UCS system, as you can see here. It is based on Unified Soil Classification System, and it is also, you can say, this is also modification version of a UCS system. And here, fine grained soil are divided into three groups, as you can see here. It is divided into low, intermediate, and high plasticity, as against two groups, low and high in UCS. As you can see in UCS, it was divided into two parts only. It was divided into low and high, but in UCS it is divided into, also it is divided into intermediate. That's why you can say this is the difference between UCS system and Indian standard. And WL is also less than 35 for liquid limit, and it is also between 35 to 50, and soil classified into 18 group as they against 15 in the UCS. So basically in this slide you can see what are the difference between UCS soil classification and what are the different UCS classification system and Indian classification system. Now come on this slide. This slide is also showing prefix and suffix, and by these things you can identify which is your gravel and which is your poorly graded gravel, which is your silty clay, and you can identify by these letters. Now this graph is showing the plasticity. Like plasticity is also very important properties of soil, and here you can see the plasticity index, and this is your liquid index. If you will see the liquid index of clay, it is varies from here, and this is also indicate, these things indicate what is the plasticity of clay soil and what is the plasticity of silty soil. Now it is time to do MCQ. And now we will see the liquid limit of a soil by the using of Kaysa-Grinde method here. As you can see here, what is the consistency? If anybody will ask to you what is the consistency, then you can say it is firmness of a soil, which is known as the consistency. And here you can see the water content. Soil is divided according to water content, percentage of water content, and it will be according to water content which is given in this table, and this is your shrinkage limit. It will call your shrinkage limit. This will call your plastic limit, and that will call your liquid limit. Now let's see in this video what will be your stages. So, upper side will be liquid state, plastic state, semi-solid state, and solid state. As you can see here, now it is categorized into three parts. First one, liquid, plastic, and shrinkage limit. One by one we will see how we will determine the liquid limit. What is the liquid limit? As I told you earlier, liquid limit, this is your section of a liquid limit. If water quantity will be more than from this side, it will be called liquid limit. If water quantity will be here, it will call the plastic state, and here will be called liquid state. Now as you can see on your video, this is the difference between plastic limit and liquid limit. And here now we will also see what is the shear strength and shear strength of soil, which one can slide here by 1 to 1. And now clay minerals is present in liquid limit. We determine of those soil where these clay minerals are available. Now you can see here surface changes, how surface changes of the soil, and here you can see the water table and how it will increase here. Now first one will be the Casagrande method here, and second one will be cone penetration. These two are the method by which we determine the liquid limit of soil. And today we are going to watch here the Casagrande method. It is an animated video and it will help you a lot. And see here. Now liquid limit we determined by the Casagrande, and this equipment is called Casagrande apparatus, as you can see here. And this is called base. You can see here it is basically made by the brass, and this is your rubber base here, and that will be your handle. And what will be the distance of here? It will be 1 centimeter, as you can see upward. Now what we have to do, we have to take the sieve of 225 micron by which we will take this soil, and here soil will not retain by this soil should not retain by the 425 micron sieve, as you can see, to 0.425 mm, and the shape of the holes will be rectangular here. And we got the fine grain soil of 425, and now fine soil is here, clay here. We have to take approx 120 gram of soil sample, and then we have to mix it with the water, and portion we will make some paste, and we will put the soil paste on this Casagrande apparatus. Make a cut here, and we have to use we do not need to use our hand. We need to use the tools which is called groving tools, standard groving tool. This is Casagrande tools here, and ASTM tools is also here. We are using Casagrande tools. This is your Casagrande tools, and we have to make cut by these tools. Now we make the cut here, which is approx 2 mm here. We have to make the cut here, and bottom cut will be of it is time to make. It is time to see the dimension of this graving tool, that was ASTM, and but we are using Casagrande tool, which is recommended for soil, clean soil, fine grain soil. We make the cut, and now we have to rotate it till this soil will not come in the touch of this face. Now, so this soil profile here, it is showing the soil profile. When we rotate these things, it will come upward, means your soil will automatically join. And flow of soil, you can see what is the difference, how you will do it, you can see here. And we have to measure the length with the ruler. You got the blows, how many blows you are doing on Casagrande apparatus. You have to record it also. After that, you have to take the soil quantity by the many method here: oven dry method, pygnometer method, sand bath method, rapid moisture meter method. Means you have to determine the water content. On which water content you can see your soil blows close to 12 mm to 25 flows. That will be your liquid limit of soil. And how we will determine is the formula: W1 is equal to the liquid limit, and N1 is equal to number of blows, which is equal to 25. And this will be very hard to determine, but we have one formula. By the using of, we can determine the water content. This is very important things which you have to repeat. This test you have to repeat the 3 times with the different water content, and we can do like this, as you can see in this animated video. Here we can easily make a table, and we can write our water content, and we can also write our number of blows, and it will be easier to determine the liquid limit of a soil, as you can see in this image. Now, after doing this, we can also plot a diagram here, and you can also say a chart. And here will be number of blows, and it will be your water content. And you can see here where you are getting your liquid limit of soil. This will call your flow curve. Flow curve will be like this. It will be a tilted line. And now we are getting the liquid limit here on 27 blows. You can see here we are getting 27 blows, and we are also getting it water content. Here you can see this is soil 1, this is your soil 2. And this was the chart of liquid limit, which is very important for all the students. You should know about it. How we plot a chart here. It will be your file 2. That will be your file 1. Now you can now you have the value of your water content, and you can now easily determine the now you can easily compact your soil by the using of proper quantity of water. That is the benefit of a liquid limit. And here we will see the MCQ of geotechnical engineering, advanced geotechnical engineering, which is very important for all the students. Now, first question is soil compacted of dry optimum as the compared to that weight of the optimum. Now, let's see what will be the right answer. Here, as you can see, options are given. First one is has less permeability. Second one is given B, swell less. C is given here, shrink less. And D is given here, has less resistance of compression. So we should also see what is asking in this question. Soil compacted dry of optimum as the compared to that weight of the optimum. So here is asking what will be the weight of the optimum of soil. Let's see what will be the right answer. Right answer here will be shrinkless. It is your right answer. It will shrinkless. Let's see next question. Next question is about the ratio of volume of voids to the total volume of soil is means it is a definition, and here is asking what will be the ratio of volume of voids and total volume, and we can also write it like this. See here on screen, like here is given volume of voids. As we know, volume of voids we represent by VV, and total volume we represent by V. Okay, it is your total volume. We can call it total volume, and this is your volume of voids. So what will be the meaning of it? And this will be your void ratio or porosity, air content, or degree of saturation. What will be your right answer here? As you can see here in next slide, right answer will be porosity. And there one thing you also need to know, what is the meaning of void ratio also. If here it will be Vs, like volume of voids here, as you can see here. Wait 1 second, I will explain it from here so that you can understand what are the difference between void ratio and porosity. If we will see volume of voids, it will be denoted by the Vv, and when total volume will be denoted by the capital V. Okay, this will be your porosity, and porosity is denoted by the N, and sometimes we also call it eta. And now we will see void ratio. Void ratio, what will be the volume of void will be same, and here will be volume of solid. That will be the formula of void ratio. As you can see, it is denoted by the E. It will be your void ratio, and this will be your porosity. This is very important because in many government exams, this types of question is asked. And if you know this question, and if you know concept of this question, you can easily solve this kind of question during your examination. And this type of question will also come in your weekly test. If you are doing BTech Civil Engineering from Gyan Vihar, you can also, it will be also helpful to you in weekly test. When you will give your weekly test or Monday test, this type of question will come in your exam. Now see what will be the next question. Next question is given the soil which plot above the A line in the plasticity chart are. As you know, in previous slide we saw the plasticity chart, and here is asking what will be the above the A line in the plasticity chart. This is your question. Here clay, it will be clay, it will be silt, it will be sand, or it will be organic soil. What will be the right answer? Let's see. Right answer will be clay. As you can see here, it will be not silt, it will be not sand, it will be clay. And if you will talk about the size of clay, see, this is very important to know. Size of clay is less than silt. We can write it like this: silt, and the size of silt is less than sand, and last one will be your gravel. This is the very important things which you need to know, uh, because in many exams this kind of question may be asked: what is the size of these things, like what is the size of clay, what is the size of silt, and what is the size of sand. Let's see next question. Next question is saying, in classification of soil, how many respect similar to, means astho classification, textural classification, as you can see here, uh, and there is also unified soil classification and MIT classification. Let's see what will be the right answer. Right answer here will be UCS, this unified soil classification. This will be your right answer. Now come on the next question. The following type of soil is not glacier deposit. This is a very important question, and in many exams this kind of question has been asked. What is the asking? In the following types of soil is not glacier deposits, means what will be the right answer? Drift, till, outwash, and bentonite. Let's see what will be the right answer here. Uh, right answer will be here bentonite. This is your not uh, glacial deposits. Bentonite. It will be your right answer. Now let's see the next question. Cohesionless soil are formed due to the, here is asking, like when cohesionless soil will be formed. Here is given weathering of rocks due to the chemical reaction, blowing of wind and ice, physical disintegration of rocks, and leading of rocks by the organic of acidic water. Before going these things, before going on answer, we will also see what is the function and what is the cycle of formation of the soil, how soil is formed. As you can see on screen, first will be the, here first will be the weathering. As you can see here, weathering. Okay. After that, here will be weathering. After that, here will be deposition. Sorry. After that, here will be this will, what will be the formation of soil. You can see here. First will be deposition, weathering. Means it can be by chemical integration, it may be by the wind, or it may be by ice. Then it will be transporting, means it may be transported by the water, it may be transported by the air. After that, deposition. Here will be deposition, means after transporting it will be deposit anywhere and then upheaval. And this is your this is not a good drawing, but when you will see the when you will see the cycle of soil formation, there will be weathering. First will be weathering, second will be uh, second will be transporting, and after that it will be deposition, then it will be upheaval. Upheaval will be here, and then again it will be weathering, transporting, deposition, upheaval. This is your soil cycle. What will be the answer of this question? Cohesionless soil are formed due to the, there will be physical disintegration of rock. It will be your right answer. Now come on the next question. The standard penetration test is useful to measure. Means how what is the work of standard penetration test here? It is given here. Shear strength of soil. You can check the shear strength of soil. You can check the consistency of soil, and none of the above. What will be the right answer? C. Right answer will be shear strength of sand. Now we will see standard penetration test is useful to measure, means for what things we do this test, penetration test, standard penetration test. Option is given here. Shear strength of soil, shear strength of sand, consistency of clay, and none of the above. What will be the right answer here? As you can see, the right answer will be here shear strength of sand. Means by the standard penetration test, we measure the shear strength of a sand. Now come on the next question. As you can see, dry density of soil is equal to, what is the meaning of dry density here? Now, what will be the right answer? Mass of solid to the volume of solid, mass of solid to total volume of solid, density of soil in the dry condition, none of the above. Let's see what it will be right answer. First one is given here. Mass of solid means it will become ms upon total volume of solid Vs. This is given mass of solid ms. Second, this was for first and this was for second option. Mass of solid upon total volume of soil means total volume of soil means V. It will be equal to V. And third one is given density of soil in the dry density means rho. It will be rho d. And last one is none of the above. What will be the right answer here? As you can see, the right answer here will be mass of solid upon total volume of soil. As you can see, means your right answer will be V, and it will denote by the ms upon V. Come on the next question. Next question is about colloidal soil, we also call it talus, are transported by, what will be the transporting agent here? Water is here, wind is here, gravity is here, and ice is here. What will be the right answer? Let's see here. Answer. Right answer will be gravity. This is very important question in many times in SSC exam and in UPSC exam. These kinds of question have been asked. So this is one-liner question and this is important for all government exams. Okay, that's why you need to remember colloidal soil, we also call it talus, are transported by the gravity. Okay, suppose this is your, as you can see on here, suppose this is your mountains and it will be deposited here. Talus will be deposited on the bottom of the, in the bottom of the mountain. It is due to the gravitational force. It will come downward due to the gravitational force. That's why here will be transporting agent is gravity. Now come on the next question. Shrinkage limit. The soil is means here is asking what is the shrinkage limit? Dry, partially saturated, saturated soil, or none of the above. Let's see what will be the right answer here. The right answer here will be saturated means shrinkage limit is related to saturated soil. It will be your right answer. Saturated soil. Come on the next question. Next question is about the coefficient of permeability of soil. Increase with the increase in temperature, increase with the decrease in the temperature, and third one increase with the decrease in the unit weight of water, decrease with and increase with the void ratio. What will be your right answer here? Right answer will be increase with the increase in the temperature. That will be your right answer. Okay, A will be your right answer. Now come on the next question. I think your question is finished here. Now it is time to give the reference. Here I am giving the reference of geotechnical book P.N. Ramamurthy, and here is also NPTEL link, which is very useful for the civil engineering student. By the clicking on this NPTEL link, you can directly watch the video of IIT's professor, and this is very important. Before, yes, before going to stop my video, I would like to suggest you, before going on this link, you should watch this video. because in this video we covered all the basics which is related to our soil classification. Thank you for watching this video.